G'day fellas, and welcome to a Beyond All Reason guide. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the fastest nuke rush possible, at least the fastest I could possibly find. It's absolutely disgusting how quick we got this nuke in, and I apologize in advance to all the Supreme Straight players out there who are just going to be having to deal with this in the upcoming couple of days, I suspect. So, let's get into it. First and foremost, we're starting off in our most important geothermal spot. In the event that you get the north side of the map, we'll be starting over on that geothermal spot. Let's get into it. So, the opening build order. Breaking it down, we're going mechs into another mech. So, second mechs, and then followed up by a wind generator. After that, we're going into our third mechs, and then we're going to be throwing down 3 windmills. Now, we don't always have to put these down. If the wind is sitting at 19 wind and we're having a wonderful day, then by all means, we're going to do it. Now, this looks to nuke a person at 11 minutes. That's incredibly quick. The general rule that I've been told is 12 minutes is when you want to have your anti-nuke complete by. And that means that at 13 minutes 30, your first anti-nuke to protect you will be ready. It takes 90 seconds for an anti-nuke to come online. It takes 2 minutes to build a nuke, which means that to hit somebody at 11 minutes means you've got to get your Armageddon up pretty damn quickly. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today. This is back on the normal patch where the commanders are worth 2,000 metal. And this is by far the most complex build I've ever done. This takes a lot of APM. It takes a lot of cognizance about what you're doing and where you're putting your buildings and what your units are doing, because you've got quite a lot of them. So we're going to open with the bot lab, and of course we're just going into mass wind generators here. You can see we've got really, really good wind. And that's actually a positive, right? Even though if you take a look right now that we've got an excess of 176 energy, that's actually a positive, because that means wind has picked up and we can just boost out our very first Lazarus. He's going to be coming out and picking up our rocks over here in the pond. After he's done that, we're going to be telling him to come and reclaim this bot lab and then go back over and grab some of this. We're making sure we front load that all straight away. Second thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding in a construction bot. So we're going to go from 1 Lazarus up to 2 construction bots. And then we're going to add in 2 more Lazarus after that, so to a total of 3. With the first construction bot, we're putting down our construction turret and we're moving on straight away. And this is all wind permitting. So what do I mean by that? When it comes to wind permitting, you can see that I've got the commander who's boosting up the construction turret. He wouldn't be able to do this if the wind was low. And you can see we're running out of wind, or running out of energy right now. So he's going to turn around and he's going to start building more wind generators on the backside here after he's finished that. So that's one of the things that you've got to be very, very careful of is juggling that. So now that we've got our second construction turret down, keep in mind this one is very carefully placed between the 2 mexes here, or rather the first mex, I guess you could say technically the 2 mexes, and the geo. And that is so that we can make sure that we assist both of them. Meanwhile, Commander, he's just doing his thing. He's making windmills. We're always trying to make sure that we don't get blocked. One of the key things that you've got to avoid doing is blocking yourself, because the AI is not very good at dealing with how or what happens when you get blocked. So we're just going to quickly pause it because we're getting a little bit behind on what everybody's doing and where everybody's going. So that second constructor unit that we saw come out, he just made his way all the way down here. So the first one, he built the construction turret, or the construction bot built the construction turret here, moved on to the second one, built it all the way and waited to be assisted by the construction turret, then moves out over onto the geo. Down here, we've just got a construction bot that is going to be building the mechs and then guarding the construction bot, which means that it will come and assist this geothermal power plant. So now we've got the 3 Lazarus out. The first one came over. He's on the way back now. Second one, we're just going to be taking all of these shore rocks here. I found a lot of people just aren't taking these shore rocks in their games that early on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take them. I can use them. And then we've always got them coming back. That's the key. We always want to bring them back. And our third one is just going to start eating our bot lab. And that's essentially it. We're also going for an energy storage now. Now that our 2 nanos have finished, we don't really have anything else to sink our energy into. So we need to make sure that we get this up ASAP, just simply because if wind kicks up to 19 like it has right now, you're going to be finding yourself at a surplus very, very quickly if you don't have this down. So very, very important to just throw it down. And then you can see we're just backing away behind this, just making sure that we throw down all of our nice little wind type turbines in a beautiful row. So we've got our 4 mexes down. Everything's going well at this point, and we're just going to keep adding in wind. Now what we're waiting for at this point is for our geo to finish. Once the geo finishes, we're going to have a huge burst of energy. So we need to quickly throw down as many metal makers. I gotta check again. Energy converters, sorry. They've changed all the names since TA, so I'm still learning what they are. So with our first bot, we're throwing down 3 of these very, very close, because we're going to reclaim them later. We're not too fussed about them. And then our second bot is going to just go straight away and make our advanced lab. And you can see we're still very early in this game. As soon as the Geo comes up, Commander, he turns around, he's straight onto energy converters as well. Everybody is, because you can see just how quickly we are going to hit that max. We want to make sure that we keep our energy conversion slider at the maximum that it can go, because if wind turns around, we need as much time to wait until it comes back. So it's really important that we do that. So we're just going to be throwing down just a handful of energy converters for the moment, because this commander has got to get out there and he's got to get booming, baby. And now we've got our 2 Lazarus back. A third one is still out here collecting rocks, and they're going to be back as well. But that's okay, because we only need the 2. We're going to be sucking up our commander with 2 Lazarus. I know that seems pretty crazy, but I assure you it is part of the requirements. So we are continuing to add in a couple more energy converters. You can see the commander's just thrown down the blueprint and then just walked away, because cool guys don't look at explosions, even when they're the ones that are exploding. And we're now going to be focusing all of our build power onto this. Commander goes down. We make a little bit of a mistake where I tell my Lazarus to go over here, and they actually suck out a couple of dead trees. And that's not part of the plan, guys. That's not part of the plan. We're losing time here, guys. Come on, get to it. All right, there we go. All right, so now we kind of get into the... Up until this part, this has all been pretty easy, right? Like, I'm sure you're tagging along right now. Here's where it gets hard, because you've only got a specific amount of metal that you can play with before you're going to stall. And that's essentially the issue that you run into. So there's ways that you can mitigate that. Number 1 is you can make less windmills. Number 2, you can wait until you're a lot further through the game. Or I guess the next option is that you just be very careful with your metal. And that's what we're doing here. So we're making sure that all of the metal that we're using is very, very specifically spent. So we're going to start by making sure that one of our construction bots, as soon as this is finished, is going to throw down a blueprint, and then he's going to, after that, he's going to throw down a second nano over here, and then after that, we're going to throw down, you can see here, we've got the construction bot assisting, and then going over onto the energy or the metal storage. Now, one other thing to note, just as we pause it, our Lazarus that was coming in from the rocks, who was over here, we've decided it's time. So as soon as your advanced bot lab is finished, you start reclaiming it straight away. And bring back your other Lazarus as well, and make sure that you are reclaiming it. Because any build power that you can spend reclaiming from Lazarus is just a win for you, because it means more time for you to be doing other stuff with your nanos. So we're now adding in our 4th nano, and we're going to be adding in our metal storage underneath it, and making sure that we are doing this. And the last thing that we want to be doing is powering up our advanced construction bot, and then we want to make sure that these guys are helping with the reclaim, as long as we don't have metal to spend. If you've got metal to spend, then you can definitely throw it onto the advanced metal extractor. So now we've got metal to spend. Everybody get ready to go, because it is time. Metal is here. So first thing that we're doing is we're throwing down another construction turret after this. We're keeping this alive. Remember, you want to always get your construction turrets out as quickly as you possibly can, and then get them constructing. Advanced bot, he's going to be throwing down our advanced geo straight away, so we're about 5 minutes 30, pretty decent timing here. And so we turn everybody around, and once again, he just taps for the blueprint, and we move up to the next point. So we just need the 3 here. So now we're going to do some cute little timing stuff here, where the construction bot is going to put down another nano. These 2 are going to help out while the fat man is walking over. I say the fat man, it's more of the slow man, the old gentleman, the advanced K-bot. And so we're just making sure that these guys are specifically tasked to this. We don't want them turning around and helping out with the nano, but now we're good to go. We head over, and all 3 of these guys are going to focus on getting this one up, and now our old man moves over here, and then this guy is going to take his hand and say, don't worry, sir, I'll look after that one for you. Meanwhile, everybody over here is working out. I can assure you, all the placement of everything is like very well thought out and planned, I can assure you. So now we've tapped, and we're holding onto the blueprint with this, because we can't just allow it to sit there. It will exhaust, and now the nanos are going to be able to take over. And now our geothermal, we finally made it. Our geothermal has come online. This is like the most pivotal moment. If your wind doesn't stall up until this point, you are going to hit a world record. The problem with this build is that if your wind does stall, and there are games where you stall wind, where you are down sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, it is going to delay your nuke rush incredibly. But remember, on this map, typically, people are going to be going for wind. So it means that they're going to be stalling as well. It's not just you. Now, there are certain build orders that are done by core players typically, where you go for solar collectors, advanced solar collectors, that sort of thing that doesn't get affected by wind. But for the most part on this map, people do tend to go wind. So just remember, if you're finding that you're hitting those low areas of wind, don't worry, your enemy's getting it as well. Now that our Geo's up, once again, it is that classic case of, well, the Geo's online, it's time for me to throw down my metal or my energy converters. So that's what we're doing here when we're waddling over to the last metal extractor, and you can see that just in this downtime between the Geo being online and the old man getting back through, we're throwing down more energy converters. And once again, we should actually be bringing our slider back down. He should have been down a lot sooner than that. And we're going to be throwing down our Armageddon. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. I think technically you could probably throw down like another 1 or 2 metal extract or energy converters just over here with this guy just on the end. But I figured, you know what, we've probably got as many as we need. I think 13's probably about enough because we are going to start reclaiming all of our energy straight away. So our Lazarus are going to be finishing up over here, and they're going to be moving in to start beginning reclaiming. Our final metal extractor is finished, and we're going to throw down a couple of construction turrets. So we're sitting on a total of 8 construction turrets, and that's all that we need at this point. And now our Lazarus are coming out. So just remember, even though these guys are technically collecting energy, so you can see right here we're picking up energy, they turn this into metal, right? Any excess energy that you've got will get turned into metal. It's not a lot of metal, but it's still metal. So that's the best way to think about it. But you can get a lot more metal for your time when it comes to getting rid of these wind turbines. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we start off by taking the metal storage. We don't need that anymore because we're not at any risk. We've got 4 of these bad boys, and that's going to give you 2,900 cap, apparently. I thought it would only be 2,400. I guess we're getting caps from somewhere else. Maybe, yeah, here we go. Energy storage, mass storage. Actually, there's no mass storage. Anyway, I'm not too fussed. Basically, at this point, we just want to start reclaiming. We bring down our slider all the way to the bottom. That way, we can eat our energy storage without losing any energy. And then once we've eaten our energy storage, we're going to move that slider back up to the top. And we're just continuing to reclaim. So you'll find that sometimes, even with 3 Lazarus, you can't keep up with the metal. Because just remember, when you've got, if we take a look at the construction turret, right, you've got 8 of these guys, and they're all using 9 metal where possible. So that means that you're talking about 72. Let me double check that. 9 times 8, 72. 81. No, 72 was right. Hold on, I put myself on. It's 72. What am I talking about? So we've got at the moment 72 metal being eaten, but we're only making 44 metal, right? So you've got 9.2 here, 9.2, 9.2, 9.2. So that's 36, and then you might get a couple through here. So we're on a good day, we're 44. We've got double the build power than what we can actually spend on metal, and as a result, it just makes sense to start eating everything. So even the nanos start eating things, and even towards the end here, we actually start eating the nanos, and you can see even this nano right here is getting eaten alive. I don't know who's eating him, but I can assure you right now he is getting. Oh no, never mind. But this nano will get eaten. We eat the nanos as well. Don't worry, because at the end of the day, it's like 200 metal or something for a nano. So it's totally worth to just eat it. Yeah, 210. Like, he's done his job. Congratulations, sir. You've got retirement in a nuclear missile somewhere. But at least we should be eating him. Yeah, there we go. We eat it. Good night, sweet prince. So we've eaten him. I mean, technically you should probably eat this one, but this was the closest, and now our Armageddon is online before 9 minutes. So before 9 minutes means that our nuclear missile is going to be ready before 11 minutes. That's correct. This is a sub 11-minute run with the Armageddon. That's pretty crazy. Now, obviously, this has got some weaknesses. You can see with the base layout that I've got. I think technically, even if the Geo was to blow right now, obviously it would be all over Red Rover. And really, a lot of this map comes down to protecting this Geo. I suspect that as we see more players begin to exploit this, that you will see more players learn to respond to it, really looking to target this Geo player. Because realistically, you've got like one guy who plays water down here, and most good players will be able to contest water, and then he's not really going to have a stranglehold over this entire area. So there's kind of a bit of an opportunity for flanking to come down here. I wouldn't be surprised if we really see hovers becoming quite a nuisance to this player in here. So maybe you see this kind of like advanced, or this delayed nuke rush or something like that. But then if it becomes a delayed nuke rush, then what's the point? So who knows? Maybe this guy, these two are front, and then this guy's like defense for the Geo or for the nuke player or something like that. I got no idea how it's going to unfold. Now, what's happening here? Obviously, we've thrown down an aircraft plant. The idea here is that we want to be very careful about when we make our blinks, I think they're called. Yeah, blinks, not finks. We want to be careful because we don't want to exhaust our energy. We always need to make sure we've got enough energy for the Armageddon. Needs 1,000 energy, so we're always waiting. Ideally, we want to go up to 10 blinks. So you can see at the moment we're sitting on 9. Now, it depends how you want to go about using them to scout. For me, the way I like to do it is I split them off into 2 groups. So I have 5 go down south, 5 go up north. And then from there, what we're looking for is we're looking to see where the best target is, where's the juiciest target for the nuke. And it's typically going to be the tech players. Anybody who's built a tier 2 bot lab is going to be a great target for you. But ideally, what we're going to be looking for is a nuke on an anti-nuke that has just come up. Now, keep in mind, anti-nukes take 90 seconds from the time that they are built to have that first anti-nuke ready. It takes 2 minutes for an Armageddon or for a nuke to come in. So you can see the kind of path that I've chosen right here. So typically, we're going to be looking at the backline. Normally, the backline make their anti-nuke right about here. So we'd be looking to nuke somewhere around here just so that we hit the anti-nuke. Obviously, it's at 11 minutes. 11 minutes, most people haven't even started, or not started, but they haven't even finished their anti-nuke. And we're launching at them. So this is where it starts to get scary, right? We're talking an 11-minute nuke that is going to be touching down. And remember, your subsequent nukes are going to be faster because of this, because your first nuke was ready before 11 minutes. That means your next nuke is ready before 13 minutes, which, by the way, normally people won't even have an anti-nuke missile ready by that time, just simply because, you know, if we go off that guideline that, 12 minutes is when you want to have your anti-nuke ready, well, then, unfortunately, you're going to be going the way of the dodo as well. Now, let's talk about transitions. What do you do behind this? There's a couple of options, but this is by far my favorite. So going back down into the advanced bot lab, because you are going to be building up a surplus of metal. And normally what happens when you have a surplus of metal is you find it very difficult to build things because you need a lot of energy to build things or to navigate, to undertake that. So you can see that what we're doing is we're avoiding building this bot lab by just guarding the Armageddon with our nanos. And what that's going to allow us to do is just keep that production of the Armageddon going. We're going to throw down a fusion reactor as well. And this bot lab just allows us to be defensive. Maybe the enemy says, oh, they're doing a nuke rush. Everybody just go all in on mid tier 1. And we can defend it that way. So we can get out our Fidos or the Hounds and push them towards the middle. Is there a medal up there? No, there's not. Okay, I was going to say, that looks a little bit weird. I thought there was a medal up the top. It would have been like a 6 medal for that. So now we're just going to throw down a fusion with that. And we have got this as a bit of a flex. Now, I would definitely encourage getting out some Hounds and making sure that you have got some presence out on the field. They deal very effectively with tier 1. They're fast. They can keep up with everything. And they've got great range. They outrange everything. They just do huge damage. So such a really good unit to back up your allies here. And you can see, obviously, we're very early in this game. We've already taken out one player. Second player might have just only got their anti-nuke online, and they're building their missile. Well, congratulations, sir. You've just won a brand new award, and it is a nuclear missile into your base as well. So 13 minutes, which is a pretty quick nuke timing by itself, not to mention the fact that it's the second one that's going to be coming through. So then behind this, we're just going to be adding in a whole bunch more nanos a little bit further, and we want to migrate away from this geo. So we're just going to do everything that we can to migrate away from the geo. Meanwhile, the backline player for the enemy team, unfortunately, their anti-nuke did not work. They've lost everything. They've lost their fusion. They've lost their advanced labs. They've lost their mexes, and now they're going to have to rebuild from ground zero. And at this point, you're already at such a massive advantage, right? Because your air player is just, you know, they're sitting quite happy. They've got their anti-nuke up. Everybody's relatively safe. And without the backline, that means that there's no air. It means that there's no eco. And it means that you're going to have a scaling advantage. Remember, when it comes to economies in this game, the longer that you are investing in your economy, the better it's going to pay off. So if you invest in your economy for 25 minutes, you're going to have half the economy of someone who invested for 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, you have half the economy of someone at 35 minutes. So it just keeps doubling almost every 5 minutes. So if you can take someone back to square zero, or square one in this case, then it makes it very difficult for them to ever catch up to somebody who has not had to do that, because they're going to just be so many magnitudes ahead when it comes to their economy. So essentially, that is it. That's how I like to play it. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Is it possible to go faster than this? Probably not. I'm not going to be attempting to go any faster than this. Obviously, a few caveats for this. Don't try this at home. Don't do this to people that you love. Only do this if you're happy for people to think bad things about you, all that good stuff. Other than that, fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this this Beyond All Reason guide. And if you've got any ideas for any more, please let me know, because I am all yours. And you know what, I shouldn't say all yours, because my wife is upstairs and she wouldn't like that. But I'm here to make content, and I want to make content that you guys are going to enjoy. So let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can make it happen. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.